Hello, my name is Max, and I've been collecting records for about 3.5 years. Um, and this is going to be my current showcase as of September 5th of all of the records that I have. I'm going to try and give my favorite song from each album best I can off the top of my head. And yeah, I look forward to maybe looking back at this later myself and or making a sequel to this on September 5th, 2024, or at some point down the road, just to kind of give myself my own benchmark. These are not in any order, filtered by genre, release date, date I bought them, anything. I know some of the ones that I bought recently, and I also know my very first record or two that I bought, but that's the disclaimer. So I'll go ahead and start from the top. I have boxes with them. So starting off, we've got the Sublime self-titled album. Best track on here. I'm gonna go with What I Got. Absolutely love that song. Insane 90s ska California vibes. Next up, we got The Never Story by JID. Favorite song on here. I'm either gonna go Underwear because it's just one of his classic songs, or Ed, Edd n Eddy. I love that one as well. I'm a huge JID fan. Ooh, this is a classic. We got good old Mad Villain by MF Doom and Madlib. Favorite song on here. This is kind of an interesting one, but I'd probably go with America's Most Blunted, just because it's such a crazy song. This next one is called Jamie by Moncel Fish. Great album, great artist. I actually found on Spotify on my Discover Weekly. Favorite song off this album, I'm gonna go with 1,000 Miles. I go 1,000 Miles. So next up, we got Queen, News of the World. Classic Family Guy album cover. Favorite track off here, probably gonna go with Sheer Heart Attack. Yeah, I mean, I love the cover art of this one more so than the record itself. Straight up. Next we got good old classic AC/DC, Back in Black. I'm more of a Bon Scott fan, but you know, one of the greatest comeback rock albums of all time, for a band to lose their frontman at the time they did and to recover so quickly and release one of the most prolific and critically acclaimed albums of the 20th century, rock albums of the 20th century, hands down. Favorite song off here, oh gosh, probably gonna go Back in Black. I know that's kind of a basic pick, but I mean, you know. Next up, we got Slipknot with All Hope Is Gone. Classic album from my childhood. Favorite song off here, definitely gotta go with Pulse of the Maggots off here. No, I'll probably go with Dead Memories. I'd say is probably my favorite off this album. And then changing up, we got Joe Walsh with But Seriously Folks. Definitely a Life's Been Good, probably my favorite record off this album. Here we have Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Club Hearts Band, or Lonely Hearts Club Band, I believe is the official title. Favorite song off here is probably Day in the Life. And now we got good old Jefferson Airplane with Surrealistic Pillow. Love White Rabbit. That song quite literally puts shivers down my spine and makes my hair stand up on the back of my neck. I love it. And we got good old Cry of Love, the fourth Jimi Hendrix album, I guess. It was released shortly after his passing. And my favorite song on this, one of my favorite songs ever, Angel. Beautiful, amazing song. This Prince record I actually found for a buck. Sexy Dancer, of course, a classic. And I mean, this era of Prince, I was literally just in Minnesota, so. This has to be one of my favorite album covers of all time. Straight up, I just love it. Especially the Times New Roman font, the just based selling out concept of it with the Heinz baked beans, the Adorno, all that shit. I Can See for 1,000 Miles is probably my favorite song. I Can See for Miles and Miles, I should say. Leave this album here. We got What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. I believe voted the #1 album of all time on Rolling Stone. Gotta go with The Namesake. What's Going On? It's a beautiful song, lyrically, melodically, just in general. It's very soulful, very sweet. Marvin Gaye was amazing. May he rest in peace. Another artist who they may rest in peace eternally, we got Janis Joplin's Pearl. Me and Bobby McGee, Cry Baby, Mercedes Benz. I mean, there's all kinds of songs on here that are amazing that'll just make the hair on your neck stand up. Again, and speaking of hair on your neck standing up, got Nazareth with Hair of the Dog. Favorite song off here, I want to say Love Hurts, but The Namesake is a pretty damn good track as well. It's a spooky, haunting little Irish rock album from the 70s. Highly recommend. Another highly recommendable rock album from the 70s, we got Deep Purple with Machine Head. Absolutely love Highway Star. We got good old Led Zeppelin 2. Favorite song off of here, probably gonna, I believe Whole Lotta Love was off this album. I think. Yeah, it was. Ramble On's also another really good song. No track list on it, so. I have ADHD and I can remember a lot, but I mean, this is a lot of records. Some of these I haven't heard in a long time, and you know, some of these I loved a lot when I was younger, and you know, some of them I still love now and listen to just as much. So it's kind of all over the place. Good old Rod Stewart, Faces. A Nod Is As Good of a Wink to a Blind Horse. Fantastic project, very underrated. Stay With Me is one of my all-time favorite songs. God, and anytime I hear that little, oh my God, it's just like instant classic rock erection there, for sure. We got Rush with Moving Pictures, an absolute classic. YYZ, Tom Sawyer, all the good shit on here. What's Not to Love? Shout out to Paul, my dad. He got me big. He's a huge Rush fan. He loves all that type of like math rock. Like he loves Tool. He loves Tesla. He loves Rush. He loves all that prog rock goodness. Here we got the Cars. I believe this is their Namesake album. Just What I Needed. Probably my favorite track on here. Good old Jethro Tull. Gotta go with the Namesake song on here, Aqualung. It's a freaky ass song. The album art is fucking wild. I mean, look at the freaking back. I mean, isn't that freaky? This is like some real shit you would find at Blockbuster back in the day, like from different media, you know, platforms. But like this album reminds me of like going to Blockbuster and seeing a cover of a movie or a library or something like that and being like, I want to watch this movie purely based on the cover. I want to listen to this album purely based on the cover. And Aqualung's a great song. Shout out to Jethro Tull. The Flute, epic. This one is actually a really cool. It's a little tattered, but we got Alice Cooper's School's Out. Obviously, fantastic song, and then it's got kind of a fun little back here that kind of folds like I guess like a notebook. Is the idea. Pretty cool. A lot of these older records I've got used secondhand. Another really fucking badass album cover. We got Wheels of Fire by Cream. White Room is probably one of the most timeless pieces of music ever. The musicianship amongst Cream, the amount of time that they were together, at the time that they were together, the music that they made, how it has aged is like unbelievable. What were they together for 3 years or something? Absurd. And this album is fantastic, and I love the pressing. It's really cool. Next up, we've got... Ooh, this is a good one. Tommy by The Who. Great storytelling record. The movie is pretty great. And, you know, how can you not love... Ooh, I hit myself in the face. Pinball Wizard. Amazing song. Fantastic record. It's another one I haven't heard in a long time, but loved it as a kid. Next up, we got a classic, kind of summertime classic rock. I said classic twice in 3 words. Oh well. Don McLean's American Pie. Amazing, amazing. American Pie itself, I mean, there's a reason why a lot of these songs, to me especially, as somebody who's 23 years old who wasn't even alive in the century this album came out, but there's a reason why people remember, you know, the song American Pie. It's a beautiful song. It's a great, 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 great song. From a storytelling aspect, from a composition aspect, from a songwriting aspect, from just standing the test of time. My favorite song of this album is Vincent, so how about that? Steve Miller's Fly Like an Eagle. This album in particular, it rocks me. What can I say? From Phoenix, Arizona all the way to Tacoma. And up around Philadelphia, Atlanta, and LA. Let's see, here we go. We got, ooh, yes. So this is actually a record that I didn't really know existed until I found it at a record store. But it's the Otis Redding and the Jimi Hendrix Experience kind of collab project. And I mean, I love both of these guys. These are two of the greatest artists of the 20th century, I would say, for contemporary music. What I said about Cream, what they did at the time they did it, and the amount of time they did it, goes like quadruple for these guys. Legends. Ooh, Straight Shooter. Cannot go wrong with this record. Bad Company, Paul Rodgers, who I don't know if he's still frontmanning Queen, but he was last I checked. Shooting Star is amazing. One of my all-time favorite songs. Straight up. Then we got good old, what is this? It's Fragile. I almost said Underworld by Yes. Roundabout. Enough said. You know, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In and around the lake. What's that song about? I don't know. Oh man, people love this one. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Isn't She Lovely? Isn't this album lovely? Yeah, one of my a great song. The extended version of that song is fucking weird, but yeah, it's still a great song. The Impressions, People Get Ready, pretty Paramount, kind of civil rights, late 50s, early 60s era, kind of soul and jazz record. Yeah, shout out to The Impressions, People Get Ready, great song. There's a Train A-Comin'. We got good old Escape by Journey. Open Arms. I wanted to say Faithfully, but Faithfully is not actually off this record. But Faithfully is a great song. Gonna go Open Arms though, my favorite off this one. And now we're starting to go into. Let's see. Actually, all right, yeah, we're gonna start jumping around a little bit in genres here. So we got the Allman Brothers with Brothers and Sisters. Jessica's probably, man. There are a lot of really great classic rock songs named after like traditionally female names. Jessica's might be my favorite, and it's one of those songs where there's no lyrics, and it's just an instrumental oasis, beautiful landscape, soundscape. I love it. Rolling Stones, Let It Bleed, classic, probably one of the greatest Rolling Stones albums ever. That says something because they've released so fucking goddamn many. Gimme Shelter, I mean, again, it's really popular, and it's, you know, wish I could say a deep cut on here, but I mean, that song lets it bleed, lets the hairs on my neck bleed. It's wild. Switch Up. So these are a couple LPs that have pretty cool, like, unique just record LP pressings. So we got My Black Parade. or The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Favorite song of your, I mean, Welcome to the Black Parade's great, but probably Teenagers is my favorite cut off this album. It's great. I mean, you know, this is one of the greatest greatest albums. Probably Welcome to the Black Parade is probably one of the greatest songs. Also love Dead as well. But it's probably one of the greatest albums of the 2000s, I would say. Then we got good old Californication. This is a triple LP? No, double. Great album. I always loved the album cover. This one like seeded into my brain. I'm probably gonna go with Other Side or Scar Tissue, maybe. My favorite from here. And kicking it back, we got Off the Wall, Michael Jackson. I Cannot Stop Till I Get Enough. Love that fucking song. Let's see, what do we got here? Ooh, Who Are You? Great song. Love Who Are You by The Who. Amazing. I woke up and I saw her alone and the policeman knew my name. Oh yes, Agents of Fortune, Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper. Love that fucking song. It's creepy, it's haunting. Does not get any better. We got what was I gonna? I almost said Double Foreigner. Double Vision by Foreigner. I'm gonna go with Hot Blooded. I mean, check it and see. What can I say? It's got a fever. This song gives me a fever. 103. It's hot as fuck outside too. Let's see what is next. Ooh man, I forgot I had this one. I almost got this at a record store thinking I didn't have it. Blood on the Tracks. Personally my favorite Bob Dylan album. I think Tangled Up in Blue is one of the greatest songs. I think it's not the greatest Bob Dylan song ever because that's got to be like a Rolling Stone or Blowing in the Wind or Tambourine Man or something like that, but it's my favorite Bob Dylan song. And then we're gonna before we take a radical shift, we'll go into some of these classics here. So we got Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, Dreams, obviously, Go Your Own Way. I mean, there's so many good ones. You Make Love and Fun, Gold Dust Woman. I mean, there's way too many good songs on this album. There's a reason why this album is a hit with the indie kids and was charting again. Shout out to the dude drinking the cranberry juice on TikTok, but what was his name? Dogface or some shit like that. I'm gonna go with Go Your Own Way. It's my favorite. Shout out to Rock Band 2. All right, and then we got good old Eat a Peach by the Allman Brothers. Another namesake. I'll probably go with, gosh, what is the track off this album? Hold on. That's it, Blue Sky. Yes, I fucking love this song. And Melissa, I love both of those songs. Allman Brothers know a thing or two about making a song about, again, a traditionally female name titled song. And then we've got a classic, one of the greatest albums of all time, Nirvana's Nevermind, an absolute undisputed heavyweight of the 90s. Literally nothing that could be said by me or a computer hasn't been already said at this point, but Drain You is my favorite song for this album. Always has been, always will be. And then we have Boston's namesake album, and this was actually the first album I ever bought. This is the first LP that I ever got. I love this song. I love Foreplay Long Time. That is my favorite song. That song is amazing. I mean, that is sex in a song. And I'm sure it has to be intentional. Art is open to interpretation. That's one thing that makes art so great. But, you know, I love every single song off here. Smokin', Hitch a Ride, More Than a Feeling, like Peace of Mind. Oh, I love it. I love it. It had to be the first one I got. So we're about to take a genre shift. We got Jack Boys by Travis Scott and company and Cactus Jack and Sheck West and all the boys that were involved in this project. I will say, so I think favorite song off here. I mean, Out West is one of my favorite trap songs of all time. But man, I really love Gotti. May Pop Smoke rest in peace. Gotti is one of my all-time favorite songs by Pop Smoke. And then keeping in line with Travis Scott, we got good old Rodeo, a absolute banger of a Trapaholics classic. One of the greatest trap albums of all time, one of the greatest hip-hop albums of the 2010s. Favorite song off here, I'm either going to go 90210 or Antidote. They're both amazing. I love them both. So that was the first crate of records. This is going to be the second crate. So we'll start off with, ooh, man. Yes, sir. Goodbye and Good Riddance by Juice WRLD. Oh, man. So many artists. Recently, it feels like gone too soon, but amazing song. Armed and Dangerous is my favorite Juice WRLD song. Although that's on the deluxe of this. So I would say my favorite song off this album is probably All Girls Are the Same. I know, kind of a normie pick, but it's a great song. Iridescence by Brockhampton. Man, this one, Jouvert is crazy. But I think probably gonna have to go with Tanya. I mean, I love me some sad Bareface. And this is definitely one of the Brockhampton's most different projects, for sure. This is actually a bootleg, but I got a LP of Blonde. It's one of my favorite all-time albums. This and the one behind me. Gosh, so many things can be said about this one. One of the greatest albums, I would say, of this century. I love it. Shout out to Frank Ocean. Dude literally does nothing this day and age, which has got to be hard as fuck to do. So I got to tip my cap to that guy. And this dude's released like 3 albums worth of music, and people fawn over his cock. And he has like barely released anything. I love it. I think he's a specimen, man. But favorite song off here, got to be Nights. Nights or Pink and White. I mean, Pink and White, I think, is my favorite song. I think Nights is like indisputably one of the greatest songs ever made. Like, straight up. Ooh, man. Album of the decade. No question. Forever Story by JID. Oh, dude. Oh. I mean, I love the Never Story as much as the next guy, but the Forever Story is so good. Surround Sound is my pick for the best. It was my favorite single from last year. Great fucking album. Speaking of great album, we got City Morgue. I love me some trap metal. This is like I don't want to say ground zero, but in terms of like bigger projects, this is definitely up there. This is one of trap metal's like crown jewels. Hell or High Water. Gotta go with Arson. One of my favorite songs. My favorite trap metal song, probably. Shout out to Zilla. Saw them in concert. They were great. Then we got good old Earl Sweatshirt and Doris. I'm not a huge Earl Sweatshirt fan, straight up, but I do love Doris. It's very Odd Future vibes. Favorite song off here, gotta go with Sunday, probably. Can't beat Frank Ocean. All right. And then we got the Ohio Man. Oh, we're going to have a lot of this, but we got the Ohio Man himself, Trippie Redd, A Love Letter to You 3. 1499 Freestyle is quite literally a no-hook banger of 2 of my, I want to say guilty pleasures by virtue of them, being so popular and being so memey and, just the aura surrounding Juice WRLD and Trippie Redd, but I don't think any pleasure should be guilty if there's nothing inherently wrong with it. So I love this record. It's great. I love that song. We got we got A Love Letter to You 4 by Trippie Redd. Not quite as good as some of the others, but I'm a huge Trippie Redd fan. So I absolutely love a number of cuts on here. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go with Love Me More, maybe. Yeah, there are a lot of songs I am a big fan of on the deluxe as well. But this, in my opinion, is Trippie Redd's best project. Life's a Trip. So many good songs on here. His first studio album, technically, and it was great. I wish Trippie would get back to this style. I don't think he can. I just don't think he's got it in him, unfortunately. And it is what it is. We got the music that we did from him, and I appreciate him so much for that. And yeah, I mean, How You Feel is one of the most underrated songs by an artist kind of stepping out of his traditional comfort zone, if you will, or like traditional style that got him popular. Fantastic song, highly recommended. And then the last Trippie Redd, technically, so we have A Love Letter to You and also A Love Letter to You 2. So we have 1 and 2. Kind of did these in the reverse. I did these in the weirdest order. I did 3, then 4, then Life's a Trip, and then 1, then 2. Favorite song off of 1 is, part of me wants to say Poles, but I gotta go with either, I'm gonna go with Love Scars. It's classic. And then A Love Letter to You 2, honestly, probably my least favorite of all 4, but I do love Bust Down. I love that song. That song's awesome. Bust down, my wrist is buzzed down. It's buzzed down. Give me an Apple Watch. Buzz down. Buzz down. Yeah. Oh yes, one of the greatest and most fawned over albums by 2 of the 2010s and honestly 2020s at this point. Most beloved hip hop artists. They came together for Kids See Ghosts, Kanye and Kid Cudi. Cudi Montage is amazing. Stay strong. Don't shy, lie to me, save me, please. That song's amazing. Oh, great album, dude. Oh, it's so short and so great. Anthony Fantano was right. I think he gave it a 10 out of 10. Well deserved. SZA, we got Control. I will say I prefer SOS. I actually don't have SOS on vinyl on wax. But Drew Barrymore, Clocks, Love Galore. I'd probably say Love Galore. Again, I know that's like the most popular song off the record, but I don't give a fuck. I love that shit. It's amazing. Shout out to SZA. She's a girl boss. For sure. Nostalgia Ultra from Frank Ocean. Yes. I know it's a cover, but I'm probably going to go Strawberry Swing. I want to say Swim Good or Novocaine, but those are singles. So I'm going to go with the Strawberry Swing. Even though I know that's a Coldplay cover, it's still great. Ski Mask Slump God Stokely. Love Stokely. Love Ski Mask. His new music's a little weird, but you know, again, I don't judge artists for making different music. Ultimately, artists are they're making their art for their job, essentially, right? So I can separate the art from the artist. I can separate work from the worker. And I love his old material much more than his new material, but Stokely is a great song, great album. I love the artwork as well. Favorite song off here has got to be Nuketown. Shout out to Juice WRLD. That song is insanely hype. Ooh, and right behind Stokely, we got his best buddy XXXTentacion. Man, this one was like the sound of my later teen years into like college. So like senior year of high school type shit, like 2017, 2018. Favorite song off here has gotta be probably Numb, honestly. It's a very minimalistic, but I think a great song. I like it a lot. Speaking of minimalistic, anything but minimalistic, Travis Scott's Astroworld. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight, but I did love Rodeo, and I loved Astroworld. I loved Utopia as well. If I can get that on wax, I definitely will. Astroworld is an amazing song. No, I keep saying amazing song. Amazing album. I'm very tired. But I wanted to do this because I love talking about music. But Astroworld is an amazing album. It's hyped up for a fucking reason. There's nothing that quite sounds like it. That came before it. Came after it? I mean, maybe. But I think the fact that there's a lot that came after it that sounds like it kind of speaks for itself. Speaking for itself, good old Toil the Creator. We've got Igor, classic album, alternative, but people still love it. I mean, come on, man. Breaking Grounds. That's like, this is borderline industrial music, and it's arguably his most popular album. Favorite song off here? I'm gonna go Igor's theme. That's crazy. I know it's the first song off the record, but I fucking love the drums. I love Uzi on that song too. Woo, woo, so good. And then of course we got Flower Boy, the record before it. This is the first Tyler the Creator album I really got into, honestly. Came out like 2017, yeah, like around 2018 maybe, I think yeah, it came out in 2017. See You Again. I mean, my first girlfriend I had, that was our song. So good memories to that song. Speaking of good memory, well, yeah, fuck it. Good memories. We've got good old Gwen Stefani with Love. What is this? Love Angel Music Baby? Yeah. Yeah. Classic. Cool is one of my favorite songs of all time. Guilty pleasure, but you know what? Again, I said it before with Trippie Redd and Juice WRLD. You know, there should be nothing guilty about a pleasure that is not inherently wrong or inherently harmful. I love Gwen Stefani. I love No Doubt. My Chemical Romance, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, epic album. Helena is a angsty fucking anthem. God, it just makes me want to scream. I love it. Huh. To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, I mean, come on, what can be said about this album again that hasn't already been said? It quite literally, in the 8 or 9 years it's been out, I feel like it has the reputation that like Nirvana's Nevermind, which is wild to me. Favorite song off here, How Much Does a Dollar Really Cost? I love that song. Oh, it's so good. But my favorite Kendrick Lamar album has got to be Good Kid, Mad City. Oh, it's so good. Because where I think that To Pimp a Butterfly is maybe greater is I think it's a slightly more cerebral album, not as boppy. But to me, I think Good Kid, Mad City does a better job of blending the storytelling. I mean, come on, Sing About Me. What the hell? One of the craziest and just greatest hip-hop songs ever. But it combines that almost cinematic storytelling, anecdotal oasis with the greatness that is, you know, the bops of Backseat Freestyle and Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe and like, oh, it's Mad City, Good Kid. It's so good. This is probably my favorite hip hop album of all time. Yeah. Oh, Sold Separately by Freddie Gibbs. Yes, sir. I've been trying to get Alfredo for a really long time. I really have. Pinata's okay, but Sold Separately came out last year. Very good. Favorite song off here, I'm going to go with Feel No Pain with Anderson .Paak. I love Freddie's verses. His verses are always great. He's always so good. And that's one of the songs where, like, Paak kind of carries, to be honest. But his verse on that is so fucking good. Speaking of so fucking good, a man who I hope and pray, and I'm confident will get the attention of like an MF Doom and or any other artist that, you know, kind of maybe didn't get as much acclaim as they should have for their influence and just their overall skill. Denzel Curry, Taboo. Love this album. Love this fucking album. Vengeance was the first introduction for me for JPEG Mafia, and I fuck with JPEG Mafia, so enough said. And also, look at these fucking album covers. Like, I love it. The duality is sick. And like, dude, conceptually, are you kidding me? Bro. Imperial by Denzel Curry. You ain't ultimate. You ain't ULT. This Life is one of the greatest songs ever, and I actually saw Denzel Curry perform last year, and he said it was his favorite song. And It's one of my favorite songs by Denzel Curry, and it's my favorite one off this album. And then, oh, we actually got a few more Denzel Curry albums. We got Melt My Face to See Your Future, or Melt My Eyes to See Your Future. I'm tired. This is one of the better albums that came out last year. This and The Forever Story were my top 2 picks. I saw this on tour. He's great. I love Denzel. He is so good. Favorite song off here? It's gotta be Walkin', right? It's gotta be Walkin'. Keep on walking in this dirty, filthy, rotten, messy little world we call our home. Come on. And then we got Zoo. I would say I'd probably wedge this in between Imperial and Taboo. This one's just got a lot of bangers on it, you know? It's not anything too crazy. Nothing too insane, but favorite song off here is probably Ricky. You know, first they rockin', now they mocking all the way because they see me cop a big lunch chopping. Yeah. And then we got Paramore with Riot. Shout out to Olivia Rodrigo, right? Crush. Hayley Williams, I love you. I remember for the longest time, I think she was born like 80, 89 maybe. So she's like 34 now, but I remember I still couldn't believe she was in her 30s into like my freshman year of college. She was still in her 20s. And I was just like, what? I remember when this album came out in like 2007 when I was like in elementary school. It's crazy. All right, so still got a few more to go. Kind of changing pace back over. We got the good old Velvet Underground, Lou Reed, Pale Blue Eyes. I could listen to that song on a 24-hour loop in a deep depression all day long. One of my all-time favorite songs. It's so good. Then we got good old Electric Ladyland by Jimi Hendrix. Awesome record. Favorite song off here? Yeah, it's got to be Crosstown Traffic, right? I mean, Crosstown Traffic. Or Long Hot Summer Night. That's another really good one. And Voodoo Child. I mean, there's so many. I'm a huge Jimi Hendrix fan. He is my all-time favorite artist. I said it. I'm not gonna say it a third time, but what I said about Cream, Jimi Hendrix, and Otis Redding. Amazing, unreal, unbelievable. Seriously. Axis Bold as Love. This album cover is fucking ridiculous. Think about this album cover being released in the fucking 60s, bro. Like, what? Who would have thought of this shit in the 60s? What? Before you had access to all the internet to see... I don't know. I'm fawning over it. Axis Bold as Love. The namesake song on here is great. Bold as Love. Little Wing, of course, classic. If 6 was 9, though, probably is the craziest Mitch Mitchell drum solo ever. And then, of course, we got to go with my all-time favorite album, the greatest debut album of all time, the Are You Experienced? Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell, Noel Redding, a masterpiece. There's so many good songs on here. When Cries Mary it's my all-time favorite song. It is, definitively. I've been pondering it since I was a kid. I love that song so much. There's so many good songs off this fucking album. It's so goddamn good. It gets me worked up just talking about it. I love Jimi Hendrix so much. He is amazing. He is unbelievable. Led Zeppelin 4, you know, again, it's a popular cut, but it's a popular cut for a reason. I mean, there's a place that, you know, all that glitters is gold. Stairway to Heaven, baby. We got In Excess and Kick. Shout out to Michael Hutchins. May he rest in peace. I got a new sensation. I'm a big fan. And we got good old Synchronicity. Is it a word? I don't know. But The Police, Every Breath You Take. I'll be watching and I'll be listening. Great song. Great album. We got The Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. Huge Otis fan, obviously. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay is a great song. Coffee and Cigarettes is another great song. Hucklebuck. I mean, I love you more than words can say. I've been loving you too long. These arms of mine. Like, try a little tender. I mean, those aren't off this album, but I mean, I love Otis. And crazy fact about this album is he actually passed away, unfortunately, like 3 days after recording this album. Recorded like 3 days after the studio session that saw The Dock of the Bay recorded. Shout out to Steve Cropper, who is responsible for making sure that this album saw the light of day. So bless his soul. And then we got a classic here, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon Garfunkel. Classic. That song makes me cry. Amazing. Tears for Fears. From the big chair, man. From the big motherfucking chair. Everybody wants to rule the world. That's all I'm gonna say. Not that horrible little baby remix either. Shit pissed me off when I saw that album. When I saw that was a thing that came out. It made me so mad. Alright, we're wrapping up here. We're almost done. So, these ones, well, we got a lot of songs from my childhood. A lot of albums from my childhood. Hollywood Undead. I mean, gosh, Swan songs? Come on. Undead? Are you kidding me? I can't really listen to it as an adult, but goddamn, this song is etched into my head. This album is etched into my head. Bitches, Everywhere I Go, Young. Young is probably the song I think that aged the best. I love that song. We are young, we have heart, born in this world as it all falls apart. 1X. This song, I keep saying song. 1X is probably my favorite song from the album. But this is classic 2000s rock music to play on YouTube. Not the early days of the internet, but kind of the growing stages of the internet where, you know, people were playing video games like RuneScape and Club Penguin, and YouTube was taking off. Like that 2005, 2006, 2007 era. I listened to this. It felt like I listened to this album, the songs off this album, so many goddamn times. Get Out Alive, Time of Dying, Riot, Animal Abbey. Oh my god, 1X is the album, but also probably my favorite song. We got good old Blind Melon and No Rain. That's all I gotta say. You know, unbelievably sappy song. Rest in peace to Shannon Hoon, man. Rest in peace to Shannon Hoon. We got Stone Temple Pilots with Core. Love Creep. I love this album, and then I also love. It's not their namesake. But my brain is kind of fried right now, so I can't actually remember the title of it. Okay, so it's actually Purple. I did not know that's what that album was called. It's the one with the little angel riding the Chinese dragon or whatever. Anyway, yes, love this song. Creep, one of my favorite songs. Plush as well. When I feel this calling, yes, bro. A Fall of Ideals, All That Remains, love it. And I hear this calling. Love that song. Love that album. Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. Come on now. One of the most popular, one of the greatest, one of the most just groundbreaking rock, nu metal, just albums in general of like that new millennium era. One Step Close to the Edge, Paper Cut. All of these songs are so good, dude. Even like Place for the Head, Cure for the... Even some of the deeper cuts are just chef's kiss, you know? And is that the internet dweller in me speaking or what? I don't know, but I mean, I love it, you know? Bought it for a reason. We got 16 Stone by Bush, a classic, kind of a... I want to say they're underrated, but they're not really. I mean, underrated would be like maybe like Candlebox or something like that, but great grunge album. I'm a big Bush fan. Well, not a big Bush fan, but Gavin Rossdale I think is an underrated voice amongst, you know, the Chris Cornells and the Kurt Cobains and the Scott Weilands of the world in terms of like the grunge era. And you know, Machine Head, Come Down, Everything's End, Glycerine. Oh, so good. This one, an album that I really didn't hear until I got to college. Elliott Smith, kind of a more, I don't want to say indie, but definitely big on college campuses, right? But I will say Either Or is one of my favorite albums. It's so goddamn depressing, and I mean, Say Yes is a haunting song. Between the Bars, obviously being from I think Good Will Hunting, right? Shout out to Elliott Smith, may he rest in peace. And again, I want to say he's an underrated artist, but I think in the kind of internet streaming age, he's getting the credit that he's always deserved. Which, you know, you maybe can say a little too late, but it's better than not getting recognized at all. So, No Doubt, I love Gwen Stefani. There's no doubt in that. Tragic Kingdom, great. Spiderwebs, Leave a Message, I'll call you back. Just a Girl also. I love 90s ska, you know, Sublime, said it before. Blood Sugar Sex Magic, boy, the Chili Peppers, classic. My favorite song is like a 1 minute like crazy sped up interlude called They're Red Hot. Fun fact. That song is like cocaine. I love it. And then we got the last bunch here. And these were in no order, by the way. These are just boxed up because I recently moved and I decided, fuck it. You know, I'm sure I'll listen back to this. I'll watch this back at some point. We got The Offspring, Americana Como Tu. Well, minus the Como Tu. Menos de Como Tu. Why Don't You Get a Job? You know, Self-Esteem, I believe, is on here. Kids Aren't All Right. Pay the Man. I mean, come on. Classic. We love Smash. I really want to get Smash on vinyl. And I feel like I had the choice between either Americana or Smash, and I got Americana. But I'll get Smash at some point. Another 3 Days Grace album. We got Life Starts Now, kind of the follow-up to 1X. Great album, more or less the same kind of vibe. And you know, this one came out in like 2010, I think, 2009. And it's been etched in my brain for however many goddamn long. So, World So Cold, Good Life. I'd probably say my favorite song off here. Oh man, Lost in You is so goddamn good. Oh, beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, our boy Jared Leto, 30 Seconds to Mars, A Beautiful Lie. Kind of early era 30 Seconds to Mars, was like 05 maybe. But Attack is one of my favorite songs. I love Beautiful Lie as well. The Kill, I think, is also on here. It is, yeah. Attack, The Beautiful Lie, Kill, From Yesterday. I mean, dude, those first three songs. Wow, doesn't get much better than that. This album, actually, one that I originally found. Whoops, they're sticking together. I actually found this one on Spotify. I had not heard of Nothing But Thieves, but their album Nothing But Thieves, I believe it's the namesake album, is great. I had heard a few songs here and there off of like, I heard like Trip Switch off like Madden. I had heard Ban All the Music somewhere else. Lover Please Stay. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite song from here, but they are very you know, Tempt You. I love that song as well. I mean, God, I love this. I love this. This is an underrated ass album, and they're very Muse. They get a lot. They get compared to Muse a lot, but I don't give a fuck. I like nothing but Muse. I love that album. Classic MGMT. Come on now. Come on now. Come on, kids. Kids and Electric Feel, bro. Ooh, man. Jeff Buckley and Grace. Damn, I love me some Jeff Buckley. Grace is a great song. Last Goodbye. My favorite Jeff Buckley recording is actually Mama, You've Been on My Mind. That song brings tears to my fucking eye. It's so beautiful. But, you know, Hallelujah obviously is the song that everybody knows from here. But, man, shout out to Jeff Buckley, man. May he, another artist that's just, man, painstakingly taken way too fucking soon. Him, you know, Elliott Smith, Kurt Cobain, I mean, God. Shannon Hoon, like so many, man. So many. God, you could, man. Kicking it back to some hip hop, Saturation by Brockhampton. This is my favorite of the Saturation trilogy, my favorite Brockhampton album. They haven't been able to top the Saturation trilogy. I think everybody's aware of that. But, you know, favorite song off here. I love the bareface cuts at the end, always, of all of them. Waste is great. But if I had to choose just a very complete and great, I gotta go with maybe Milk, or Face. Milk or Face. Star is also really good. I go Gunna with the Leatherface. Yeah. Got the same last name as OJ. All right, and so we got a couple. Ooh, yes, okay. So we got some Avenged Sevenfold albums here. I'm actually going to see them very soon. But got Nightmare, classic album. This spoiler, as if I'm going to show you in 20 seconds anyway. This 3-album run is so good. Finally got these pressed very recently. But Nightmare, Welcome to the Family, Buried Alive. Oh, so good. And then, of course, we have their namesake album from, I think, 07. I think Nightmare was 2010. This, I think, was 07. Afterlife is one of my all-time favorite songs. Almost Easy. Scream. This one, oh, dude, so fucking good. And then what may be my favorite, however, is good old City of Evil. Backcountry, Seize the Day, MIA. It's so good. Beast and the Harlots, one of my all-time favorite songs from like the 2000s. I love Avenged Sevenfold. Rest in peace to the Rev. And then the final album, fitting, right? Is, I think, one of the few albums that I've gotten this year, from this year. I think like Jamie is like the only other one that I have gotten that's been a 2023 release. But we've got Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. This is a fantastic album, and I'm a fervent believer of don't judge a book by its cover. Don't necessarily antagonize or pigeonhole or belittle someone for the mistakes and or the person or the artist or anything that they were in the past, because you just never know what they could come back with, and I know that kind of had a little more of a retaliatory inflection and connotation, but this is an amazing album. This is an amazing fucking album. He was, it's so good, so good. Don't Ask No Questions on the Ride. I gotta go with Pretty though. With Fouché on vocals. Fuck, bro. So good. But yeah, that was my vinyl album collection as of September 5th, 2023. And looking forward to getting some more records and I'll do my best to kind of showcase the ones that I didn't showcase in this video whenever I make a follow-up.